A man who had once planned his own suicide rose from the canvas like he had returned from the dead, and that moment will become the symbol of one of the greatest comeback stories in sports history. This is the story of Tyson Fury. Before he became the Gypsy King, before he shocked the world, before he nearly lost everything, he was a baby nobody thought would survive. Tyson Fury entered the world in 1988 weighing only 1 pound. Doctors gave him little chance. His father named him Tyson after heavyweight legend Mike Tyson because he believed his son was born to fight. That belief would follow Tyson for the rest of his life. Growing up in a traveling Irish family, fighting wasn't just entertainment. It was part of the culture. Fury learned early that respect had to be earned. But despite his size and confidence, nobody could predict the roller coaster waiting ahead. Because years later, when Tyson finally reached the top of boxing, he would discover that the hardest opponent wasn't standing across the ring. It was waiting inside his own mind. As a teenager, Fury stood out immediately. He was huge, awkward, unpolished, yet somehow incredibly difficult to beat. While other fighters looked smooth and technical, Fury looked like a giant who hadn't fully figured out what his body could do. But underneath that awkwardness was something dangerous. He could move, he could think, and most importantly, he believed he was destined for greatness. The amateur system helped shape him, but Fury never got the Olympic dream he wanted. Many fighters would have viewed that as a crushing disappointment. Tyson saw something else, a shortcut. Instead of chasing amateur glory, he turned professional in 2008, and that's when the real journey began. At first, Fury looked like a prospect with potential. Then he started collecting victories, one after another. People noticed his size. Then they noticed his speed. Then they noticed his personality. And suddenly the boxing world had a problem. Nobody knew what to make of him. Was he a future champion? Or just another loud heavyweight making promises he couldn't keep? The answer was coming. But first, Fury had to survive a brutal test. In 2011, he faced Derek Chisora. Many expected a close fight. Instead, Fury outboxed him. The victory changed everything. For the first time, the heavyweight division began taking him seriously. But Tyson wasn't satisfied. He wasn't fighting just to be respected. He wanted the throne. And unfortunately for him, the throne belonged to a man who seemed impossible to beat. For nearly a decade, Wladimir Klitschko ruled heavyweight boxing. Calm, disciplined, clinical, he had turned beating challengers into a routine. One by one, they stepped into the ring. One by one, they failed. Most people thought Tyson Fury would become another victim. Even Fury supporters knew the odds looked impossible. Yet Tyson had a secret weapon. He wasn't trying to fight Klitschko's fight. He was planning to make Klitschko fight his. The build-up was chaotic. Fury talked endlessly. He sang. He joked. He acted crazy. Many assumed it was all an act. What they didn't realize was that every bizarre interview was part of psychological warfare. And on fight night in 2015, the impossible happened. Fury confused Klitschko, outmoved him, outthought him, round after round. The dominant king of the heavyweight division looked frozen. When the final bell rang, the world watched in shock. Tyson Fury was a heavyweight champion of the world. He had done it. He had conquered the mountain. The dream was complete. Or at least that's what everyone thought. Because what happened next nearly destroyed him. Most sports stories end when the hero wins. Tyson Fury's darkest chapter began after victory. The pressure hit him like a truck. The fame, the expectations, the emptiness. He had spent his entire life chasing one goal. Now he had achieved it, and suddenly he felt lost. Depression crept into every corner of his life. Alcohol followed. Drugs followed. Weight gain followed. The champion who had defeated Klitschko was disappearing. Physically, mentally, emotionally. At one point, Fury's weight exploded to nearly 400 pounds. The boxing world watched in disbelief. Many assumed his career was finished. Some thought he would never fight again. Others feared something much worse. And honestly, there were moments when Tyson feared it too. Years later, Fury revealed the terrifying truth. He had contemplated ending his own life. One day, driving at high speed in his sports car, he seriously considered crashing it. The heavyweight champion of the world had everything people dream about: money, fame, titles. Yet inside, he was fighting a battle far more dangerous than any opponent. That battle nearly won. But then something changed. A small voice inside him refused to quit. Step by step, Fury began rebuilding himself. Not as a fighter, as a human being. He started exercising, then training, then believing. The process was painful. The comeback looked impossible. But Tyson Fury had built his entire life around proving people wrong. Why stop now? When Fury announced he was returning, critics laughed. They saw an overweight former champion chasing a fantasy. The boxing world had moved on. New stars had emerged. New champions held the belts. Tyson Fury was yesterday's news. Or so they thought. Fight after fight, the weight disappeared. The movement returned. The confidence returned. Most importantly, the hunger returned. Soon, Fury was climbing back toward the top. And waiting there was the most dangerous puncher in boxing. A man who seemed built in a laboratory to knock people unconscious. Deontay Wilder. The first fight felt like a movie. Fury boxed brilliantly. Wilder hunted him relentlessly. Then came the moment that would define Tyson's legacy. In round 12, Wilder landed a devastating right hand followed by a crushing left hook. Fury collapsed. The arena erupted. Commentators assumed the fight was over. Fans assumed the fight was over. Even Wilder assumed the fight was over. Then Tyson Fury sat up, stood up, and somehow continued fighting. It looked supernatural, like a scene from a Hollywood script. The fight ended in a controversial draw. But many people felt they had just witnessed something historic. The comeback wasn't complete yet. The real statement came later. In the rematch, Fury did what nobody expected. Instead of boxing cautiously, he marched directly toward Wilder. He bullied the bully, round after round, punch after punch, until Wilder's corner finally stopped the fight. The Gypsy King had reclaimed the heavyweight throne. And this time, the victory meant something different. It wasn't just about belts. It wasn't just about money. It was proof that he had defeated the darkness that once consumed him. But the rivalry wasn't finished. The trilogy fight delivered pure chaos. Knockdowns, momentum swings, drama everywhere. Both men hit the canvas. Both men looked vulnerable. But only one man survived. Late in the fight, Fury unleashed a brutal knockout. The rivalry was over. One of heavyweight boxing's greatest trilogies had reached its conclusion. Most champions would have slowed down after that. Tyson Fury kept searching for bigger challenges. The years that followed brought more victories, more headlines, and more unforgettable moments. Sometimes he entertained. Sometimes he shocked people. Sometimes he sparked controversy. But he was never boring. And that might be the most Tyson Fury thing imaginable. Because throughout his career, Fury has never fit inside a simple box. He's been a champion, a showman, a villain, a hero, a survivor. Depending on the day, he might be all four at once. That's what makes his story different. The titles matter. The victories matter. The records matter. But they aren't the reason people remember Tyson Fury. People remember him because he represents something bigger. The possibility of coming back. No matter how far you've fallen. No matter how badly you've lost your way. No matter how impossible the road back appears. Tyson Fury's greatest fight wasn't against Klitschko. It wasn't against Wilder. It wasn't against any heavyweight champion. His greatest fight happened in silence, away from cameras, away from arenas, away from cheering crowds. And somehow, against overwhelming odds, he won. That's why the image of Fury rising from the canvas continues to inspire millions around the world. Because it wasn't just a boxer getting up. It was a man refusing to stay down. And that may be the true legacy of the Gypsy King.